The title of this explainer probably goes against everything you've ever been taught. We're all told that hard work is the secret ingredient to success. But what if I told you that all that effort, all that hustle, might actually be the very thing that's holding you back? And this quote right here, it just gets right to the heart of it. So many of us wear our exhaustion like it's a medal. We practically brag about how little we've slept. But that's a huge, huge mistake. See, burnout isn't proof of your dedication. It's a flashing red light that your entire approach is just, well, it's broken.
To really get this, let's meet two people who are on two very different paths. Over here on the left, we've got the mover. This person is all about speed, constant motion, just going, going, going. And on the right, we have the progressor. They're slow, deliberate, and strategic. And as you're about to see, their stories could not be more different. So, let's start with the mover and this powerful, powerful trap called the illusion of motion. It's that feeling you get when you're busy, You're confusing all that activity with actual achievement, and it's a trap so many of us fall into day after day.
So what does the mover's life look like? Well, picture them on a treadmill. The speed is cranked all the way up, they're sweating, they're breathing hard, but they haven't moved an inch. This is the person who treats 4 hours of sleep like it's some kind of superpower, and tries to juggle 10 balls at once, only to watch them all just come crashing down. Does that sound a little familiar?
There's a really great analogy for this. It's the phone storage problem. Think about your brain like it's a smartphone. The mover's mind is always, always full. It's just clogged with junk files, endless emails, pointless meetings, busy work. So when a really big, game-changing idea comes along, there's literally no room to install it. The storage is full.
Okay, so that's the problem. But there is another way. Let's shift gears and look at how the progressor carves out a much smarter path. We're about to step into a world where the rules are completely different.
Now, this next idea, it might sound a little bit crazy at first. It's called strategic incompetence. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the art of deliberately choosing to be bad at the things that just don't matter. It means ignoring the laundry so you can finish your passion project, or letting that non-critical email go unanswered so you can focus on what's really important. It's all about saving your best energy for what truly, truly counts.
So how does the progressor actually solve that phone storage problem we talked about? Well, it's a pretty simple 3-step process. First, they identify the junk files, all those unimportant tasks that create that illusion of motion. Second, and listen, this is the hard part, they hit delete. They learn to say no. They set boundaries. And then third, with all that new space, they finally have the capacity to install that one big idea.
And that's really the key difference, isn't it? The mover is chaotically trying to handle 10 things at once, and of course, fails. The progressor, on the other hand, understands that real success comes from focusing on that one golden ball, the one opportunity that's going to make all the difference.
But how does focusing on just that one thing create such massive success? Well, the engine behind it all is a really powerful principle that works silently in the background. It's an unseen force.
And a huge, huge part of this strategy is rest. The progressor gets that rest isn't laziness, it's a biological necessity for making progress. While you're sleeping, your brain is busy consolidating memories. It's basically hitting the save button on everything you worked on that day.
Some fascinating concepts from Sweden actually show this in practice. Fika isn't just a coffee break, it's a deliberate, intentional pause to recharge your batteries. And the principle of lagom, which means just enough, is the perfect antidote to presenteeism. That feeling of being at your desk but not really being productive at all?
So, when you combine this really focused effort with strategic rest, what happens? Okay, get ready for this, because the math is kind of staggering. If you get just 1% better at something every single day, after 1 year, you're not 365% better. No. Thanks to the amazing power of compounding, you'll be nearly 37 times better.
I mean, just look at this chart. This is what that looks like. Those tiny, almost invisible daily efforts start to stack on top of each other. And you can see the curve is pretty flat at the beginning, right? But over time, it just shoots almost vertically upward. That is the unseen force that propels the progressor forward, while the mover stays completely stuck.
So, this brings us to the end of our two stories. What is the final, ultimate outcome when you choose one path over the other? And the conclusion is, well, it's pretty stark. On the left, you've got the mover. After all that running and all that sweat, they collapse in a heap of burnout, right back in the same spot where they started. But on the right, the progressor,
through slow, deliberate, strategic steps, is standing at the top of the staircase. They've reached their goal.
So if you only take one thing away from this, please let it be this. Motion does not equal progress. They can feel really similar in the moment, I know, but over time, they lead to dramatically different destinations.
And that really just leaves us with one final big question to think about. I want you to look at your own life, your own work, your own habits. Is your day a frantic blur of motion on a treadmill, or are you taking clear, deliberate steps up that staircase?